Is it possible to find wild garlic here in Musselburgh along the River Esk Path in winter, in the month of February? Journey along with me as I go and explore in this video. So my journey starts here along the waterfalls, entering the River Esk Path from the Musselburgh end and passing this sign just as you cross over the bridge just behind me. So I am expecting that during this time we should be able to see small plants, small wild garlic plants, or what I also call vuminji. In the UK it's also called ramson, but I also call it water garlic because it's always found in woodlands and near running water. So the idea now is to see if there's any growth here in Musselburgh. Chances are, is it possible that you might find large plants, or they'll all be small? Hi, good morning ladies. So what I'll have to do is turn the camera around so you can explore with me. No, I'm not going to do so in the entire region. I'm just going to explore a small part of it and then look at how large they've grown. But at least right now, to see if there's any signs of it along the banks. It's less likely on the riverside, but more on the left hand side going from the Musselburgh end. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to journey with me as I go and see if I can find large enough wild garlic plants. Right, so I've not long walk from the bridge that's behind me, just a minute or so, and I'm keeping left. The idea is to see if there's any wild garlic shooting at this time. As you can see on the right hand side, you've got the River Esk. So this side is not ideal for wild garlic growth. Maybe further along the path where you've got more ground for it to grow, but I'm looking for signs of it. And just as predicted, I can start to see small shoots coming up. Obviously it's February, so it's less likely to find plenty large plants as they would during, say, late March going into April. They'll be a lot larger and start flowering by late April going into May. But the idea is to find signs of it growing, and I start to see that already. Yes, wild garlic or vuminji. So it seems as if right along the left hand side, crossing the bridge, I've already started to see small plants coming up. And as I said, end of April, end of March going into April, then chances are we'll find a lot more potential for foraging. But it's possible that you might be able to see larger plants, some even more mature at this early stage or early time of the year, as opposed to when spring fully sprung. So yes, so the indication is the Musselburgh region is doing fine as always. But what is most important is to find special grounds where you've got large number of these plants, and it gives a better indication as to how much the wild garlic growth is happening as the season progresses in 2025. So there's a little spot on the left hand side going up that I'm going to explore, but as I mentioned, right along the left hand side you start to see more of it, and they seem to be getting bigger as I ventured further along the path going towards White Craigs, and even more as you can see this area of a lot more amidst all this shrub. So the thing is to find small pockets with large amount of wild garlic plants. In this region there are wild garlic, but somehow it's all grown amidst all this shrub. So if I just move this further down, as you can see, it's piercing through all the branches, but somehow it's a lot more difficult to forage for such. Obviously these must be brambles or so forth, maybe coming into season by late July, August. So right, so now I've identified a nice spot. This region seems to be covered with the plant, so I'm looking for the size of it. As you can see now, they start to get larger and they're growing nicely following the seasonal pattern. And the good thing is that the wild garlic seeds, I know people forage in this area during the season, so they just cut the leaves off and they leave the seeds in the bulbs, the wild garlic bulbs in the ground, which is important to continue the next year of wild garlic. So let me just go through here. Many fallen trees from the previous storms that occurred in 2025, January and this February. So yeah, so this isn't bad, but I'm looking for a large enough spot. Hello, good morning. Right, so as we can see here, it's all branch. Let me see if I can step over. Okay. Oh, right. Right. May start to see more well-defined foraging grounds along the path, at least patches or regions. Look, you see these nice clusters. So I would imagine they'll grow about this height afterwards. Look, there are many of them along the hillside, and I'm sure as I go further in you see more of, wow, just look how many of them now. So just look right along here. It's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so I'll go over this fence, and here we find a nice foraging ground on the left hand side. As you can see, as we go far back, we've got many of the plants, bunches of wild garlic clustered close together, which is ideal because it means that it's accessible and you can pick from the most mature plants. As I said, it's February, and as expected, they are growing according to the season. and they're at that height that is tandem to the season. It's only February, but chances are sometimes you find larger plants than, which I would say ahead of the season, but I don't see much of such at the moment. And chances are you might find some start to flower already, which is not normal, but it's possible. Good. So we're doing great. Now, one thing to note is the wild garlic, our Ramson leaf, our Vermilion leaf is broad and a lighter green than this plant, which is flowering during February. So try not to mix wild garlic, mistake wild garlic for this plant. So let me show you the contrast. So you've got, this is dark green, slender leaves, and it starts to flower. It's February now, which wild garlic doesn't do so. And look at the contrast. You see how broad the wild garlic leaf is, the Ramson leaf, compared to this plant. And as I said, chances are you won't find Ramson flowering at this time. You might find few plants though of the wild garlic, maybe a few bunches flowering, but it's rare and not the norm. So, as I said, this is only one area. Just one. And along the hillside you can find them. I can't see a flowering wild garlic plant. As I said, sometimes you might find some ahead of the season, but no, I can't see any. So that means that it's just growing within its season, and that's acceptable. It's normal. Look, all these plants. And the thing is, these are all organic stuff. You know that you don't get plenty organic food in the supermarket, but this is 100% organic, growing in its natural season. No pesticide, herbicide. It's just normal. Good for stir fry, steaming, wash properly and eat it raw, mixed in with salad, especially when they are in their season. So I'm going to check on that side, see if it's possible to find some of the same. Okay, I'm just crossing over to this side. Remember, the River S path goes all the way to White Creek from Musselburgh, so this is just one zone. And even on this side, you can find wild garlic. Obviously, the dogs run along this path, this area more because it's quite open. And you know, dogs love open plain to go chase after stuff. So if you're foraging, just be mindful. It's still early. Maybe you can find few early leaves to forage for, but not much. They're pretty young, unless you intend on get the young flavor. So okay, so we're fine. So, as predicted, wild garlic does start to grow at this time of the year in December in Musselburgh. You start to see evidence of it. Obviously, it's not the foraging season yet. We're talking about maybe late March going into April. Although sometimes the you might find some of the plants larger than others, but the good thing is things are progressing nicely. Hopefully in a couple of weeks or maybe another week, I'll come and see if I can find some forageable wild garlic, because as I said, they're mainly young now, but chances are I might be able to find some forageable bits to use for various stuff. So I'll return in a week's time and see if I can find forageable ones from the larger bunches. So thanks for watching this video, and continue along with me throughout the season as I carry out this foraging period throughout 2025 along the River Esk path in Musselburgh.